Hey everyone, Bruce Wozniak here from the Now Hear This Entertainment Podcast, talking to you about the Patreon campaign for the show. There have been a lot of guests on the podcast who've talked about crowdfunding campaigns that they've done to raise money to pay for recording their EP or their album, Kickstarter or some similar service where there's only 30 days for them to hopefully hit their goal. That's not what this is. With Patreon, you choose one of the levels you can contribute at, and it's a recurring donation every month. I'm recording this video in late January 2017, which means that the podcast is a couple weeks away from turning 3 years old. Those of you that have listened know that I still haven't been able to land any sponsors. That's the bad news. A new episode of the podcast has still been released on time every single week anyway. That's the good news. In the meantime, I still keep getting bills sent to me for things like web hosting or from the guy who gets promotional materials done for me so I can keep trying to get the word out, or from Facebook or other places where I advertise from time to time. When you see on social media that I'm at cool events trying to make Now Hear This Entertainment even better, I'm generally having to pay to be there and sometimes even having to pay someone to help me out. Would you believe that the utility companies even keep sending me bills each month? That's the bad news. But you can help, and in exchange, you'll get some really cool rewards. That's the good news. I sit at podcasting events or I read the posts in podcasting forums, and I'm envious of the teams of people that are putting out some of the other shows that are out there. That isn't the case with Now Hear This Entertainment, at least not yet, but donations from Patreon will help me not only to be able to afford some of those expenses I was talking about, but maybe at some point even be able to get some help. You see, the goal here is, and always has been, to keep bringing you great content each week. I'd love to grow that in some way too, even if it's something like YouTube videos of every episode of the show, even if it's just putting the audio podcast set to pictures and related logos. But as I hope you can tell now, I've got my hands quite full as it is, being, as they say in The Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain, not to mention trying to find a free hand to put in my pocket to foot the bill every time an expense related to the podcast comes up. So thank you for watching this, and know that I would be tremendously grateful for your ongoing donation to the podcast. I don't have mad video equipment and editing skills to match, but that's not what NHTE is anyway. I'm a podcaster, and I want to keep doing what I've been doing since February 2014, and know that I'm entertaining and helping people, that I can pay my bills, and that people like what I'm doing. Thanks all of you who do listen to the podcast, and thank you for considering my Patreon campaign.